Now, I am not a PC gamer by any means. I actually prefer playing on my PS4, and if I do play on my PC, I usually try to use my PS4 controller. So why would I even consider getting something that lends itself to PC gaming? Well, most of my work is productivity based and it's done on external monitor connected to my laptop, so I didn't want to have to reach over to my laptop to type. So I decided to pick up a budget keyboard to help me with most of my work, and here's what I found out. First off, what you're getting in the box is not bad at all. Once you open it, you'll be treated to the keyboard with a very brief manual. More on that later. Deeper in the box, you'll find this nice looking keycap puller tool, 4 additional keyboards, and a 5-foot braided cable. I'm expecting this cable to last much longer than the keyboard itself. Not only are you getting the length and durability of a cable that is perfect for a desktop setup, the L-shaped USB-C connector for the keyboard allows you to adapt to the layout of your desk. Also, I'm a huge supporter of the USB-C movement. My phone and my earbuds both have USB-C, and I just bought a USB-C hub for my laptop. Oftentimes, budget devices will cheap out on you and give you micro USB or even non-detachable cables. However, I'm glad that Diriyah spared no expense to keep this keyboard as up to date with other hardware. Let's move on to the keyboard itself. It has a durable plastic construction that doesn't have a lot of flex to it. At the bottom, you'll find 6 rubber stops, plus 2 more built in to the kickstands. So you never need to worry about the keyboard moving around while you're gaming. You also get a simple power switch, which is nice when you just want to watch a movie or something and you don't want your RGB to be too distracting. There's a very nice soft ABS finish to these double shot keycaps, making it really comfortable to type on for long periods of time. After using this keyboard for a couple days doing normal productivity and editing, I noticed that the bottom left group of keys that I use a lot for navigation and shortcuts were starting to show some light spots and fingerprints. However, it's not a big deal because they disappear in a couple minutes, and when you're using the RGB backlight effects, you can't really notice. The switches themselves are Otemu, which are Cherry MX Brown clones. Again, I'm no keyboard aficionado. However, these are really nice and they feel like just any other mechanical keyboard I've felt. I went with the brown switches, but they also come in blue and red if you prefer those types of switches. Here's a quick sound test for the brown Otemu keys. The reason I bought the 63 key version of this keyboard was because I wanted those directional keys at the bottom right. Those are really helpful in word processing and editing. However, the layout around those keys can be a little bit awkward. If this is your first 60% keyboard like me, it's going to take some time to get used to the whole layout. Now, onto the lighting effects. There are 13 different RGB effects to choose from, and you can cycle through them by holding the function key and the light switch key. It has an effect for pretty much anyone, whether you want to go for something subtle like I like, or if you want to show off to your friends and family. Unfortunately, the software doesn't allow you to customize the RGB of each key individually, only the entire keyboard's effect. Fortunately, the software looks like any typical keyboard software and even upgrades your keyboard during install. However, nothing really changed about my keyboard when I switched to Bluetooth. All the options to modify key assignments, macros, things like that, it only works in the wired mode, which I didn't know, and I spent days working with customer support, who was really nice, but they weren't able to help me really until after like a week, and I finally found out that it only works in wired mode. So kind of sucks that I wasted all that time trying to figure out how the software worked. So just keep that in mind in case you really like to customize the keys on your keyboard. You won't be able to do that in the wireless mode. Even though it has limited software, it doesn't mean you're limited in options. When using this keyboard, the function key is going to be your best friend. It'll be able to control all of your lighting effects, your wireless and wired connections, as well as allow you to use the miscellaneous functions on your keyboard like the volume controls. The keyboard has no noticeable latency, so it's great for gaming. The wireless and wired connections are pretty much identical, so you'll be totally fine. And the battery on this thing lasts for days, but that's only because of this very aggressive power saving feature that it has that I'll talk about in a second. The only time I charge this thing is when I take a break from my gaming or editing sessions, and just a few minutes is going to give you a pretty good charge, so it'll never die on you on really long gaming sessions. This is a great keyboard in many ways, but there are some issues that you should know about. Like I said, this has a very aggressive power saving feature. After being idle for about a minute or two, the keyboard will go to sleep. and the only way to wake it up is to start typing. And it's taken a few seconds for it to turn back on. It's not a huge problem, but it got pretty annoying first few times I used it. And there's no way to turn this setting off, unfortunately, from what I can see. Let me know in the comments if there is, but from what I can find, there's no way to turn this off, and it's a little annoying. Overall, for someone who has never owned a mechanical keyboard, I think this was a pretty good purchase. If you're trying to get your first mechanical keyboard, I can't recommend this one enough. It's reliable, it's compact, it's great for any setup, and it's portable. The best part about this keyboard is probably the price. You're probably looking at keyboards from Logitech or Corsair or Razer. There are some mid-range and budget keyboards that they offer, but I think this one's a pretty good deal. For someone who is more used to flatter keyboards on laptops or membrane keyboards, there is a learning curve to using these kinds of keyboards because they're a lot higher and you have to raise your fingers just a little bit more to reach those top keys. However, once you get used to it, you kind of get into a flow. The issues with the software and the power saving feature can get pretty annoying, but they're really minor in the grand scheme of things. It has everything a PC gamer would need, including the RGB effects, low latency, and just that compact feel. And with that Bluetooth and wired connection, you have the option to either just plug it into your desktop and use it as a regular keyboard, or if you're someone who goes out and works a lot, it's great for that too. So those are my thoughts on the Diria GK63 wireless keyboard. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it helped, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.